Hey guys, welcome to our first episode of ISSA Podcast. I'm sitting here with my best friend and singer-songwriter, Ava Like Lava. Shout out, let's go. How you doing today, girl?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed. We're healthy. We're young. We're dreaming and turning ideas into reality, girl. Let's go.
Hey, we are really doing that, actually. Now that I think
Props
of
to
it,
you.
this year, no, but the both of us, like just nonstop, we executing shit.
Let's go.
I'm proud of us too.
Likewise,
But you know, it's been a long time coming. I think this podcast was really necessary to help create a platform of awareness for artists like Ava. And I would love to, just talk about your story, because I feel like you have such a unique story about you that a lot of people don't know your background, and the fact that you were born in Japan, grew up in China, and also have cultural roots in Iran, and then ended up moving to South Africa, of all places. So I think to unpack that, I would love to know more about how that journey and being exposed to all those places shaped you as an artist and your sound.
The way that it shaped my sound is, I feel like I'm the poster child for how we all are as individuals, as listeners, as consumers in this world. If I was born any other timeline before the internet, I think my sound would be a lot more shocking to the ears. But the reality is that, like, we grew up in a time where if you had access to the internet, you were shaped by the world. And I think I'm the poster child for that. Like, my sound, which is a very clear mix of different traditions and genres, it's not out of this world. It's like super from the world, if that makes sense.
It's like a reflection of all these different
Yeah, and I think like that's what we all are now. Like, we're all shaped by so many different things. Like, my story may be like the most explicit version of, oh, you grew up here and then you grew up there. But like, we were all kind of like sponges for the world and all the music that found its way to us one way or another. And the way that it shaped my identity is that I'm the only one of me. And from a very young age, I valued my POV, even though I didn't fit in, even though I stood out, even though like I was always the odd one out. And it made it hard to immediately relate to, you know, the lived experience, the surface level experience of other people. I liked what I liked, and I still like what I like. And my art is like the pursuit of not compromising on what I like.
I love that, because you're just being authentically yourself, and given, I think everyone has a backstory that ties into their journey as an artist. And I think it's also interesting how South Africa played such a strong part in your journey. And, you know, being an independent artist, how might you find navigating the music industry as in South Africa? Like, what type of challenges do you see that emerging artists face, and how have you dealt with these challenges?
So coming from like a world where like this is where my music started, guys. I was 18 years old, had just moved to South Africa from China. Where I grew
China,
up.
of all places, like the
Very
contrasts
different.
in cultures must have been so crazy.
And I have never felt more at home than I did in South Africa. And I felt very immediately at home. I felt so accepted. I felt so embraced. And I feel so blessed that this is where my musical journey began and where it's all formed. Like, I started going to university, and I feel so lucky that I was exposed to just like how talented South Africa is. And I say this all the time, like, South Africa is mad creative. And South Africans are really, really good storytellers. As far as like the challenges in the music industry go that we all face, there's a lot. But I think the main one is how much of this industry runs on free work. And it's so easy for us all to get brought into that and become beneficiaries of it and perpetuate that same system. But I think that is actually killing a lot more incredible artists' journey because of the unsustainability of it. whether it's promises of access to spaces, promises of, opportunities further down the line, or just, having faith in what you're creating. Because the truth is, South African people have a Makaplan attitude, and people really want to see you win, and people want to win together and build together. But we are not generating money in the process of doing that a lot of the times. And that is actually like hurting a lot of people's journeys and making them have to stop.
Yeah, that's interesting what you spoke about, like specifically access to certain opportunities or platforms. Would you say that maybe sometimes there's a lack of infrastructure to support these artists to develop in their career and take it to a level that, most international artists in the music industry, like if you look at America versus South Africa, for the infrastructure there might be different to here. Would you say that there's a need for more platforms for artists?
It's so layered, right? To add on to what you're saying, like, and also point out two other structural problems that we have in South Africa that feed into each other. One, infrastructure, I think, is related to like also audience. Like, it's not just about like whether there is platforms, which are necessary. That's, everything's interlinked, right? Like, you can't look at one problem and not see like the rest of the ecosystem and how it's affected by that. So many artists in South Africa just don't have an audience yet and don't know who their audience is, including myself. Like when I said, it's because I'm also learning, girl. It's like, how do you overcome this? I'm like, I am overcoming it right now, And
That's so true.
I was so blessed to be put onto so many artists on the come up because I was on the come up with them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even known how many incredibly talented and like very different artists are in South Africa. And we support each other, but we're the ones hyping each other up in our comment sections. You're not my target audience. It's amazing that we're rooting for each other and supporting each other and respect how individually different we are.
Yeah.
But are you going to be the one who's buying tickets to my shows? Can I rely on you to be like my target audience? Or are we two artists who both want target audiences? And South Africa is a new country. Its audience size is growing, but its talent is so much bigger than the audience size.
Like, talent is really crazy. And just, I think another question that I had for you was, if you look at live music as a platform in South Africa, do you feel like live music platforms, is there a way that they can maybe help develop the local music scene? And if so, what can live music platforms provide that digital platforms can't necessarily?
That's such a good question, because the third thing that we miss as artists is the spaces to test our music on people. That is the main thing that live music provides artists with, and something that actually like allows you to
engage with the audience as well,
to know yourself, right? Like on digital platforms, it's a lot of telling. It is you're showing your music, you're showing this and that, but sometimes like we have literal AI artists. Like there's things like live music is not going to be touched by AI. And in fact, it's only going to become more and more important, because if I come to a space and I get to experience you, I'm no longer scrolling away from anything.
You're like demanding someone's attention as opposed to scroll.
Absolutely.
You're like capturing their time in real time.
Instead of fighting for it on a platform where everyone is fighting for it, you are a willing participant at a show. You are there to have an experience. You're not scrolling away, and suddenly this option fatigue doesn't exist. You're like, okay, we're in for a treat. Like whatever happens, this is going to be an experience. Either going to be a cool experience, a boring experience, like a fantastic experience. Like that is what you're there for.
You get to experience you, essentially.
And that's the golden opportunity. You get to experience each other. Like live music is not just about like me coming and flexing on you and leaving, right? Like I don't know everything that this experience is going to bring, because we're experiencing it together. And I think that in South Africa, this is going to be such a key thing that introduces us to artists. Because if you think about it, our favorite artists like ASAP Rocky,
On the left.
man, like Travis, Doja, Olivia Dean, whoever. For the most part, artists are not put on arena stages first. So in fact, it is the early curators, the early booking agents that break artists through to the audience. Because if they didn't take chances, how would you actually see these people and be like, oh, who's this unverified artist? Who is this like unco-signed artist that I'm experiencing? It is dope. I have proof that they're dope because I just watched them and now I'm a fan. We need those spaces. And that's where ISSA TING is like.
Hey, yo, ISSA TING. And I think people like you in our community and local music scene are like really key in that, because I think what ISSA TING is trying to build is essentially get this collective of creatives together and just show how dope you guys are. And it's not to say, you know, that like because of social media, everyone has their platform, but what we're trying to create is a real platform in real time, and people can come and experience you live. And, you know, each artist has their own brand, has their own voice on social media, and I think that's important. But I think the art of live music should never be a dying art. It should be an art that keeps sustaining itself from generations to come, because it's such a key pillar in music. And I think that's what Cape Town really needs right now, you know?
You're 100% right. And you're doing like such an important thing for this generation of artists. Like there is no arena without it. It's not just me. It's a whole collective. We have Uno July, we have Josh, we have you, Glewa, Yadav. Everyone is so excited to contribute. And I think it's really a team. It's like a community. It's like bigger than just one person, I think. And yeah, I think to touch up on the next question, I'm really excited because as part of your music journey, we're excited to announce the exclusive drop dun, 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 of your latest single, which is coming out 26th of February. And it's actually 24 hours right before you have to perform the song. I'm so excited.
ISSA TING. So I want to unpack the song that you're going to release. It's titled Third World Pop Star, which is a very interesting name because it has a backstory to you specifically. And I wanted to ask, what is the inspiration behind the song and the meaning behind the name?
I'm really proud of where I come from. Third world here it's how places are treated more than what they actually are. And Third World Pop Star is like the unseen journey of most of the world's heroes. You know, whether it's like the Grammys, the Super Bowl, you know, the World Cup, the Olympics. Many people not only have to be the best in the world at what they do, but they need to be allowed in the arena to even compete. And that's what the story is about. I've been so blessed and fortunate to have traveled to the places that I've gotten to see and visit on a very political passport. That means suspicion, threat, challenges and obstacles. And like, you see that last part, it's not about you. Like it's not in your control whether you even get into that arena, but it is your obstacle. And I just don't take any of these stories for granted. And if my song, which is my story, but it is also the story of so many incredible artists and athletes before me, and at this very moment in time around the world, that's what Third World Pop Star is.
That's a beautiful, beautiful meaning. And I'm really grateful and happy that you are able to share it with us on ISSA TING and perform it with us live. It's going to be really beautiful.
It's a debut ting. It's a debut ting. I'm so excited to be performing it for the first time ever, like within 24 hours of releasing the song. No, it's going to be so special. Bringing it to life with people.
Yes.
With my people.
No, but shout out Ava, like, thank you so much for doing this ISSA podcast ting. And we're really excited to have you. And shout out, my girl. I'm proud.
Thank you for having me on the first one. Onwards and upwards, my girl. To many more.
All right, guys. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Stay out of trouble.